Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. May 29th, 2017, the death of sportswriter Frank Deford was reported. He had died the day earlier, May 28th. This was the front page news on CNN. Picture of Frank Deford holding up the sports paper with the cover shot, "We had a ball." And I want to show you how this is another ritual sacrifice for the NBA Finals, and then show you a few other things that have been in the headlines about the NBA Finals in the last few days. So what it says up here, "We had a ball," in gematria sums to 33. Just like Cleveland, just like LeBron, just like James, just like NBA Finals. The name Stephen, 33. Huge number in the history of the NBA is 33. The two most winningest teams, the Celtics and the Lakers. The Celtics with 17 championships, the Lakers with 16. Put it together, 33, just like NBA Finals. In gematria, Magic 33, Bird 33. Bird used to wear number 33. Anyhow, that phrase, "we had a ball," also sums to 57. NBA Finals also sums to 57. So does the name Frank Deford, the man holding up the paper. Scottish Rite also has the gematria 57. "We had a ball" also totals 69, like Cleveland Cavaliers. Check this out. Frank Deford, 57, like NBA Finals, like Scottish Rite. If you write out 78, the age he died at, it also sums to 57. And again, NBA Finals also sums to 78, like Cleveland, like Scottish Rite. You see how all of these things come together? Last year, the Cavs, the first team to win a Game 7 on the road since 1978. That championship was won in Seattle on the 122nd Meridian, just like last year's championship in Oakland, also on the 122nd Meridian. The number that represents Elohim, the Jewish God. Also represents the word Freemason. So, Frank turned 78 December 16th and died 163 days later. His date of birth, a date with 85 numerology, like the word basketball. Also a 67 in there, like the word king. 31 also connecting to basketball. 66 LeBron. This man had birth numerology that corresponds with these finals very much. The Warriors, of course, also won the West. West equals 67 with 67 games this year. Again, the word King 67. And we have King James facing the winner of the West, the Warriors. The date he died on, date with 25 numerology. The word death has gematria of 25, as well as finals. His death a riddle for the NBA Finals. This happens every year. Been explaining this for so long. The most ritualistic killing out of all the sports seems to be the NBA playoffs and finals every single year. So from his birthday, the day he turned 78, to the day he died 163 days later, the reason that matters is because 163 is the 38th prime. Death 38, murder 38, killing 38, finals 38. Little murder ritual for the NBA Finals. And it's not hard to understand why the powers that shouldn't be kill these people like they're nothing in ritual. It's because they know that these people are nothing. These people are worse than nothing. These are people who decided what they were going to do with their lives was deceive everyone for a paycheck. You know? The powers that shouldn't be are worse than nothing too. But they understand that the people that they rule over, that they pay, that they, influence to sell out humanity, they know that these people are pieces of shit, so why not just kill them for ritual? I guarantee you that's how they think about this. Guarantee you this is how they justify it all in their sick, perverse ways. But it's hard to feel bad for any of these scumbags getting off. I mean, this guy got to live to 78. How many lies did he get to tell people in the time he was alive for a paycheck? What most people do, lie to themselves for a paycheck. So, some more NBA Finals riddles. Alabama, this is talking about the Alabama college football team, the Crimson Tide. Remember last year we had the river running red in Russia just days before the NFL season began, and the headline said the river was a Crimson Tide? I said, just watch, Alabama's going to be in the college championship again. And what did I tell you before the championship began? When I put out my final video, when I did my homework, I said it's tough to call this year, but if I was going to bet on a team, I'd bet on Clemson. And Clemson won by the numbers. But look at this. Now it's way more interesting. Alabama football, LeBron James share interesting championship connection. I'm just going to read this so you can follow everything they report here. LeBron James and his Cleveland Cavaliers could be doomed against the Golden State Warriors before the 2017 NBA Finals begin. Okay, doomed might be too strong of a word in this case, but if recent history is a reliable guide, chances are good that this won't be a year James claims another NBA title. As it turns out, James has never won a championship in the same year Alabama has not claimed one. As you're likely aware, Alabama came up short in its bid to claim a second consecutive national title in January when the Crimson Tide lost to Clemson in a 35-31 thriller at Raymond James Stadium. LeBron's name, let me just show you LeBron's full name. LeBron James. His middle name is Ramon. LeBron Ramon James. And here they emphasize that the loss was at Raymond James Stadium. And that's bad news for James. That's right, James hoisted trophies in 2012, 13, and 16. You'll remember that Alabama won national titles during those calendar years, with the Crimson Tide beating LSU, Notre Dame, and Clemson. Coincidence? Of course. This is what I hate. This is what I hate about the Zionist Jews. They just always put this word coincidence in front of people, and then people just, yeah, everything's a coincidence. Again, you have to be a fucking retard to not see how rigged collegiate and pro sports are. They're both just so fucking dumb. There's nothing real about them. For anyone who plays sports, there's no way you should be fooled by collegiate or professional athletics. They just don't make any sense. For any of you who play sports, I mean, when you play a sports game, you usually get hot and sweaty and you work hard. You play defense, you make smart passes. When you watch these pros, these collegiate players play, they just give games away all day. It doesn't even look like they're trying. Defense, it doesn't even exist. College football, it's just a marathon. Nobody's playing defense. It's a joke. But anyway, this article just showing you, put it all in front of your face, that it's all ritual. But notice, Clemson won with 35 points this year, and I keep talking about 35 in King James for the last 3 years. The last 3 years, from the beginning of the season, I've said that the finals will be Warriors and Cavs, called it 3 years in a row. Every single year, talking about 35. And now number 35, Kevin Durant's on the Warriors. LeBron advancing to the NBA Finals, scored 35 points in 35 minutes. All scripted, no defense. If LeBron is to lose this year in the NBA Finals, he'll be 3-5 all time. And let's not forget that Kevin Durant, the reason he wears 35 is because his high school coach was murdered for his college and professional career. Have a video on this. His coach murdered by the numbers. So 35 is a big number for Durant. Is Durant going to get his first championship beating King James, sending him to 3-5? Possibly. Remember, both coaches, Tyronn Lue and Mike Brown from Cleveland Browns, the last time they won before LeBron was Jim Brown. Anyway, Mike Brown has a March 5th birthday, 3/5. He began coaching LeBron James, King James at age 35. Now he's the coach of the Warriors. And Tyronn Lue, with his 5/3 or 3/5 May 3rd birthday, is the head coach of the Warriors. And, the Zionist Jews, if they were writing an article about this, they'd say, coincidence? And then the retards who read it would go, yeah, that's a coincidence. If you're one of the fucking retards that uses the word coincidence, lose that word from your vocabulary and try to not be a fucking retard. There's way too many of you. Also, that college game that they referenced, the most recent one, 35-31, in Raymond James Stadium, 35 plus 31 is 66. LeBron equals 66. LeBron James, 66. Last year, he became the first player to go to 6 straight finals since 66 when Bill Russell did it. Here's the score of that game. This game was also on a date with 47 numerology. Again, this is the 47th season of the modern NBA, which began the year the Cavs, Blazers, and Buffalo Braves joined the NBA. Ohio equals 47. Akron, Ohio equals 47, where Steph Curry and LeBron James were born in the same hospital, where Nate Thurmond was also born, who died last year 27 days after LeBron scored 27 in Game 7. Cavs equal 27. Nate Thurmond had his jersey retired with the Warriors and Cavs. The Warriors win the championship. The Cavs win the championship. Nate Thurmond, likely the father of LeBron James, dead 27 days later. From the college championship to the start of the finals is also 144 days, the number that represents time. We'll see what happens, you know. If LeBron wins the finals, he'll have won 4 of his last 7, kind of like 47. It's hard this year because because they put Durant on the Warriors, now that number 35 corresponds with him too. Well, we'll see what happens game 1. But I want to point this out. When game 1 of the NBA Finals begins, we're going to see the Cleveland Indians playing the Oakland Athletics. Cleveland, Oakland, just like the Warriors are from Oakland. We're going to see this series playing the same day the finals start. And look at what this is game 1 of this series. 3-5 in favor of the Indians, where King James plays. Don't forget, last year, during the NBA playoffs, the Cleveland Cavaliers were playing the same teams in the NBA playoffs that the Cleveland Indians were playing in the regular season. And I said if the Indians make it to the World Series, remember this? And I said, this is just further proof of how sports are scripted. It's not a coincidence that the Cavs are playing the same teams in the playoffs that the Indians are playing in the regular season. This is how the Jews script the world of sports, which they control across the board. You know? Something to understand, the Zionist Jews are the biggest fucking cocksuckers, literally, on the face of the planet. But the other part to understand is they're way smarter than the people that they call Goy. And that's why they rule over the Goy so easily with complete mocking in their face every day. Zionist Jews, cocksuckers with way more intelligent points than retarded fucking Goy, which is what this nation is, which they created on purpose. Don't be a Goy. Don't forget that this year, the 71st total season of the NBA began on a date with 71 numerology. Cleveland played their first game in Cleveland. The same day game 1 of the World Series in Cleveland began, where it was the first time the Cubs had been in the World Series in 71 years. Don't forget I said the Cubs would win the World Series in spring training. Don't forget the year before that I said the New York Mets would be in the World Series and everyone laughed at me. Right again, right again, right again. Almost always right on this channel. Rarely wrong. With regards to my NHL thing, I screwed up this year, and the reason I screwed up is because I overlooked that the NHL season was canceled 2004-2005. Canada will win the Stanley Cup next season, because that'll be 24 seasons. Canada will win next year. You got to do your homework thorough, or you can miscalculate. And sometimes, just even having the knowledge, you can just see all the rigging, but it's still hard to determine what the outcome will be. Just like I've been talking about 35 all year, just like I've been talking about it'll be Warriors and Cavs all year. At the beginning of the season, I leaned towards the Cavs winning. We did see the Warriors blow out the Cavs on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I said, that might be a clue that the King is going down this year. And still torn, honestly, but we're seeing it put in front of our face. All year, baseball and basketball scripted together. June 1st, Oakland versus Cleveland in MLB and in the NBA Finals. And not a coincidence. Also, I pointed out how Sidney Crosby, the face of the NHL, advanced to the championship the same day LeBron James, the face of the NBA, advanced to the championship. Look at the first score of the NHL series, 3-5. King James. And beyond basketball, King James, the Rosicrucians, Francis Bacon, A lot of people say they're the only reason that this nation exists. It was them who led the movement to colonize over here. So King James, big part of history. Last year, LeBron won on the real King James's birthday, as I said he would when he was down 3-1. Also this morning, they're calling the Warriors unbeatable. And look at this. Unbeatable equals 29. Go back and watch my video from the first game of the season. The Cavs won by 29. The Warriors lost by 29. And I said in that video, I said, you know, this is a sign that it's going to be Cavs-Warriors again. 29 represents Ohio. Steph Curry, LeBron from Ohio. The word pi equals 29. Steph Curry has a pi birthday. I predicted he would score 29 on his 29th birthday on Pi Day. He did. Remember the big pi ritual? On Mother's Day, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant combining for 74 points. 314 days after Durant joined the team on July 4th in front of Steph Curry's mother, Sonia. Sonia equals 74. LeBron won last year on Mother's Day. This year, Steph Curry won on Mother's Day. Also, unbeatable, 61. Finals equals 61. The finals begin on 6/1, June 1st. Ohio also equals 61. Last year, Game 7 was on a date with 61 numerology. The Warriors and Cavs came into the game, each having scored 610 points in the finals. 610, the 15th Fibonacci number. It was the final game of the season that began in 2015. 83, the 23rd prime number. King equals 23. LeBron wears 23, King James. Also 187. Ohio equals 187 in Satanic Gematria. This unbeatable, clever word that sums up this season. So there it is, Truth Seeker. The latest information, you know, don't look for me to tell you who's going to win this finals because I don't know, and I continue to say that. You know, I'm just giving you the clues, and as they drop, I'm even like a teeter-totter myself. They have me going back and forth. That's why I don't gamble, Truth Seeker. Until next time.